Hello, my name is Cy Prime, and I'm a big Transformers collector. This is some of my collection that I keep at work, so I make my work a happy place. So starting off, I've got Bumblebee from the movie. This is the masterpiece Bumblebee. It's modeled to be looking just like the Bumblebee movie one with John Cena and Haley Steinfeld. I keep that as my introduction, and then I keep just one because it looks good with the color. Skywarp in his jet mode. This is the masterpiece one, the Toys R Us version, which came out in America. I have the Takara Tomy one as well. And then I keep some of my main bots in my office here. And this is some of my collection. Look at how I got in post. Look at how I've got Optimus Prime post. If you remember the old toy, it was just like that, remember?
Oh, yeah.
And you had to tilt the gun. You had to tilt the gun because it wouldn't quite fit in his hand.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so that's why I've got him posted like that. that in the IDW universe to make him become a screenwriter in Hollywood. He falls in love with Earth culture, so he becomes a screenwriter in Hollywood.
Who, Starscream?
No, Thundercracker. Oh. And he's while he's healing in a warehouse alone, he's just watching, like, binge watching all American, like, Hollywood movies and television stuff. So he really just becomes immersed in Earth culture, and he becomes a screenwriter. And at the end, he is nominated for a Best Writer Oscar. And you don't know whether he wins or not. They kind of leave you hanging. Skywarp joins G.I. Joe. That's Superion on the left and Menasor on the right. The smaller ones are the official Combiner Wars Hasbro ones. But the bigger ones are the third-party ones. And down there is where I keep my instruction manuals for how to convert them. This is not really popular in America, but in Europe, this is Thunder Clash. Yeah, he's basically the greatest Autobot ever to have been around.
What?
The Matrix in the comics, he held on to the Matrix inside of him for Optimus Prime when Optimus Prime went on sabbatical. But they had to surgically remove the Matrix because the Matrix didn't want to leave.
Wow. Wow. Yeah. I did not know that. See, that's why I gotta.
He's basically like the Captain America
of the Autobots.
The Autobots of the Transformers universe, but so good that you kind of hate him, but you love him.
Wow.
Yeah. I went to IKEA, and IKEA has these things called Detolf shelves, and they also have the LED lighting, which I can thread through here, and it really makes for a nice, affordable display case. I think it's about $80 out the door if you buy the two together, and you just need to drill one hole in. But what I do is there's so many Transformers that I kind of curate it. Otherwise, I would just buy every single Transformer I saw in sight. And what I have here, are my special masterpiece from the pilot episodes, More Than Meets the Eye, back in 1984. These are the original Autobots within those first 3 episodes. I did not include Jetfire in this, or Skyfire as people also know him as. Or the Dinobots, because in masterpiece scale that I just don't feel like paying the extra money for. Okay, these are my Decepticons, the corresponding Decepticons in the More Than Meets the Eye pilot episodes 1, 2, and 3. So I've got Megatron, which is the Takara MP36 one, and I've got Shockwave, and then the Insecticons. Rumble and Frenzy, I prefer these third-party ones. These are not the original Hasbro brand, but I like the quality and the aesthetic of them a lot more. And then I've got Soundwave, Laserbeak, Buzzsaw, and Ravage. And then on the second shelf, because Decepticons are pretty big, I've got my Seekers. So I've got Thundercracker, and these are all Takara brand ones. Thundercracker is one of my favorites. And then I got Skywarp. And then I've got Starscream in his 1986 movie Coronation outfit, the one where he gets vaporized. And then I've got the camera clones, the refractor or reflector, depending on how you want to call them. And those are probably the pride of my collection, these masterpiece ones from those first 3 episodes, because for me the nostalgia just it hits me right in the feels, because those episodes I will never forget. Those first 3 episodes, I never saw anything like it. And what the other stuff I've got here are more miscellaneous. This is my Optimus Prime cabinet. There are so many versions of this character that I just snatch up whenever I see one. And the scary thing is, this is only a tiny portion of all the Optimus Primes that are out there. I've got the MP10, which is was kind of the flagship Optimus Prime Masterpiece scale. And I've got the Transform Element one, which is a third-party one. Shattered Glass, kind of a mirrored universe, evil version of Optimus Prime. And I've got the Bun from the Bumblebee movie. And then there's some various ones from IDW Comics. The one that you see in the left corner, that is Orion Pax. That's what Optimus Prime was before he got turned into Optimus Prime. There's a small an episode in I think the second or third season where they go back in time and they find Optimus Prime before he was Optimus Prime. And then I've got a kind of a female Transformer one. Nightbird was from a very memorable episode in Transformers, created by humans, but she makes some more appearances. And then I've got RC, which is by a company called MMC Reformatted, as well as the Dead Universe RC. Got them fighting each other. And then a couple of other ones, which are Windblade, third party. This one is Minerva, one of the first females featured in Japanese comics, and then a third-party RC. Then you got the Black Arachnia, which is kind of sometimes becomes evil, sometimes is a good character, really depends. And she's from more the Beast Wars time. I'm not quite complete with this. I'm missing one. I still have yet to acquire one more character in this show. This makes Transformers definitely not for kids. These are the Decepticon Justice Division. I still have yet to acquire one more figure that turns into an electric chair. That's its conversion mode.
Wow.
But these are Decepticons specially picked by Megatron to hunt and kill painfully Decepticons who have strayed from the path. Wow. So, and it's led by this guy named Tarn. And he's a pretty badass character. And then down here I've kind of got some miscellaneous ones. If anyone remembers Rung from the IDW comics, this is the WFC War for Cybertron version, just a mini bot. And then I've got the character from the DeLorean car, which turns into a robot, Maverick from Top Gun, and then Ectotron from Ghostbusters. A lot of 80s nostalgia here. And I happen to have duplicates of them too. But the last one is just a random one that doesn't really fit in, which is Brainstorm. Then I got Alpha Trion because he's the big grandpa of all Transformers. I keep my large ones, which causes a lot of my friends on Facebook Transformers group, gives them a lot of anxiety. But I reassure them that they're at my office. There's no children or pets. But I keep them outside on the tops of all of my cabinets. This is Devastator. This is a third-party one, which I prefer, by Toy World, called the Constructor. But these ones down here are the actual Hasbro Takara Constructicons, not combined to form Devastator. I like having both of them in combined mode as well as in robot mode. And then what I've got is the other Titans. This is Fort Maximus. Fort Max, I call him. And he's in the IDW comics, but he was more in the season 4 of the Transformers when they started going Japanese after the 1986 movie, The Death of Prime and stuff. And he's got his accompanying city bots, like Cog is the one usually paired with him. This is Overlord. He is a big bad boy, and he turns into a tank with a jet. He's what they call a Phase Sixer, especially in the IDW comics. He's kind of a psychopathic Transformer. And then Scorponok, as well as his corresponding bot. And then I've got a few other Autobots. This is one of my all-time favorite characters. I think it's one of the best ones Hasbro's ever made. This is Omega Supreme. My pet name for him is Crunchwrap, because Crunchwrap Supreme, so I just call him Crunchwrap. But then I've got some bots paired with him as well. And then I got a tiny little cute Optimus Prime and Grimlock. Kind of scales well with that Omega, though.
Yeah, that would be about.
Yeah. And then here I've got just various ones from mainly the mainline, what they call chug figures. Chug, C-H-U-G, just look it up on the internet. It's what they would the kind of acronym they use for mainline ones, as opposed to masterpiece and stuff. These are ones that are meant to be used, enjoyed, played with, and collected if you want. So I've got Jetfire with the Decepticon logo, and this is how cool they make these. You can switch the logo to make it. You can turn the logo around to turn him into an Autobot and back. So many little details they put on these mainline figures. These are the toys that I should have had when I was growing up in 1984. Not till I'm middle-aged did they come up with it. I think that was intentional because Hasbro knows that we have money at these ages. So.
And we will destroy them in the children.
Yeah. And these are the War for Cybertron Siege line Transformers, Decepticons, as well as down here I've got some from there, as well as some from other lines of characters I just like.
Who did you just left that you dislike? You just like that character?
I just like Jyaxis from IDW Comics. None of I can't remember the name. Some of these are not what you are conventional ones in the main G1 line, but I just like the characters from the universe. One interesting note. This comes from Japan by Takara. And you can't really tell in the video, but if you were to hold these, Takara Tomy is the corresponding company to Hasbro, and they're the ones who created Transformers and brought them over to the US, and Hasbro distributed them. But when Takara has their designs, the quality control is much higher than the corresponding Hasbro. And I didn't notice it as tangibly until I noticed that one toy with the corresponding Takara Tomy one. And even just the feel of the plastic and the quality of the paint is definitely noticeably different. And if I take you down here, this is kind of a miscellaneous one because this line is still coming out. It's the Kingdom line by War for Cybertron. These are the ones in the back row with a random shattered glass, again, reverse universe Ratchet that came with the shattered glass Optimus. But these three here, I don't know where else to put them, but they're some of my favorites. In the IDW comics, they have Transformers that have their own bar, and they serve Energex, which is this Energon liquor or spirit that they drink. And I got Swerve, who basically has the Lost Light bar, and I've got Blur, who is the current, or at least the later, bartender and owner of Mac Adams Bar, which
Wasn't
is this
he the one that
character.
talked really fast?
Yep, that's Blur with Eric. Was it Eric Idle's voice? Or
Yeah.
No, it was the guy who did Micro Machines' voice.
Yeah. It was really fast.
Yeah,
He
and
double
he's still,
crossed.
and I think he did that later on too. But Mac Adam is actually one of the 13 primes in disguise.
What?
And he owns the bar, which the one rule is anyone can go there, Decepticon and Autobot alike. And that's also where the first fight, that's also the bar that Megatron was hanging out with Impactor in the comics. And Megatron got arrested by Whirl over there, who I'll talk about. And he ended up going down the path of evil then.